Welcome to the Defining Moments Black Men series of the Authentic Joe Show. I'm your host, Jolena Johnson, and it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome today's guest, Mr. Victor Edet Okan. How are you, Victor?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you? And thank you for inviting me.
I'm doing great, and thank you for being here.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little about yourself, your occupation, and your background?
Okay. Um, as you stated, my name is Victor Edet. I'm from Nigeria. Grew up in Lagos, but from the south part of Nigeria. And I came to United States on a track scholarship. And I was one of those lucky ones. And I took advantage of it. I'm an Olympian for Nigeria. And I attended University of Missouri at Columbia and presently in California. And I'm a finance manager and also a mentor, a father, a son, an uncle, and someone who has something to focus on in life every day.
Very good. And you forgot husband, so we don't want you to
Oh,
get in
and
trouble.
husband,
Yes.
of course, of course.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Victor.
Thank you.
If you had, how would you describe yourself?
A family oriented man, uh, perseverance,
Mhm.
and somebody who is determined to succeed in whatever they put their hands into.
Very good. Okay, if you had to pick a phrase that would be the theme for your life, what would that be?
As I stated a few minutes ago, family is a key thing to me. So I will say family orientation.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So, oftentimes people will say, well, what is a defining moment? So, let me share. A defining moment is a point in life when a pivotal decision must be made or when an experience fundamentally changes a person.
Mhm.
What defining moment would you be willing to share with us today?
Wow. The one that always comes to mind that has molded me to this point is the passing of my brothers and my mom. That's always a sensitive part of my life, but that is also something that has molded me throughout life to be able to be the person that I am today. And that moment, on two occasions, when I was the third born, basically I was the youngest son,
Okay.
and my two elder brothers, Sam and James, were the ones that were basically the future heads of the family. Unfortunately, these things happen in life, and that's basically we have to deal with. And when James passed and Sam passed, it was a difficult time, but at the same time, they left the children behind. And in that case, I have to be able to step in to be their father. And that's why it took a while for me to even have a child of my own.
Mhm.
So, being an uncle and a father, something actually happened when when James and mom passed on. After the burial, I was taken back home to the family house. Then I went to a room that we always sit down and hang out and talk as brothers. And as I sat at the edge of the bed, something came upon me. It was like a pushed on my chest, and I fell back. And suddenly, I went blanked. Basically, I went to sleep because my body was weak. But when I woke up, it was a different Victor entirely. it was like if something came upon me and told me, now you have to lead. And I figured out that when I step out of that door from that room, I cannot show fear.
Mm.
I cannot show anything that will make them feel as if we will not make it. We have lost my eldest brother 5 years earlier, and 5 years later, James passed on. And their children were very little. And when I step out of that door, everybody just looked at me. And I told them, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. So I went in to talk to my mother, who was still with us then, and my dad. And I sat them down and said, we'll be okay. They're now our angels. So we just have to do what we have to do to support their children and to be able to send them through school and basically raise them. And my mom and dad were not young men and women at the time, but I was thousands of miles away in the United States. So myself and my sister decided to basically do this distance decisions and relationship with the children. And thank God, up to date, we have done everything we can to raise them, and they are wonderful men and women today. And I'm thankful for God for that.
That is beautiful. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. I love what you said. You became uncle father.
Mhm. And I'm still one.
I recently saw on Facebook or on social media that I think your nephew, he become an attorney? Was it an attorney or a judge? I wasn't sure.
Um, that was James's eldest son,
Hmm.
and he just graduated from law school. It's a long process, but we got it done. I'm very, very proud of him.
Hmm.
And he's now basically a man. And I'm glad I have somebody that I can say, okay, you're now responsible for this and responsible for that. And he's doing a fantastic job. I'm very proud of them. Same thing with the eldest one, MM. She has a business. She graduated. She's doing fantastic. Ima's sister, Imabong, is at the University of Lagos. She's studying engineering. So they are just my mom and dad, my aunts, my sister in particular gave up her life to take care of my mom and dad, and I appreciate her. And we've tried our best to take them to a level where they can basically be responsible for themselves.
Ah, that is wonderful, Victor. I'm so sorry for your losses, and I'm so grateful that you were able to do these things. In the
Mhm.
beginning, you mentioned that you put off having a family of your own because you knew about your responsibilities to your nieces and nephews. So, can
Mhm.
you talk to us about what it takes to sacrifice to be a father? Can you tell us a few things that, let's say somebody's getting ready to be a father now, or they're not
Mhm.
exactly sure how to be a father or what to do? Maybe they feel pressure. Like you said, you were thousands of miles away. So, what are
Correct.
some of the things that you have to do and think or not do and think in order to be successful?
Well, what I pride myself on is being able to show a good example. And throughout my life, I've been lucky to have people around me that have given me advice, that have mentored me, that have it basically been with me, especially my late brothers.
Mhm.
I left home at a very young age. Well, 19 years old, and leaving home and coming down here and having a coach who was like a father and still a father, who gives you all the advice that you can imagine in the world, and my teammates, my fraternity brothers, and not to talk about the professors that worked with me at University of Missouri, Dr. Strickland, Walter Daniels, Sundiata Chajoa. Um, I mean, on and on and on. So many people. Then after that, having people after graduating, the relationships I had, my in-laws. I mean, these people have guided and molded me and made me to understand that life is about hard work and having a goal, perseverance, and going after that goal. So, as a father, our job as parents is to lay a foundation for our children. But each of us, we are responsible for our own destiny. So that foundation has to be laid so that as they grow, they need to understand that there are obstacles. There are people out there that are much more privileged than the others.
Mhm.
If you're in a privileged aspect of it, take advantage of it. If you're not, you never give up. You have to believe in yourself. You have to fight for anything that you want. Hard work is the key to everything. And having faith and belief in your creator, who is the God above that, is just guardian. And I teach this to my children, to my nieces and nephews, to young men and women that I come across with, and I let them understand the importance of having a goal, staying focused. And one thing that I was taught while I was pledging was what excuses are. Excuses are tools of incompetence that leads you to nowhere. So therefore, there's no excuse. I teach that to my children, to my nieces and nephews, to young men and women that I work with that are new, to let them know that you can give excuses, but it's not going to lead you to anywhere. You always have to have the perseverance and move, keep moving. You never give up. Believe in yourself. And that's what I live by. I live knowing that I'm capable to accomplish anything that I lay my hands on. When James and Sam passed on, and later my mom, that only gave me the drive to say, I have to lead. If I have to lead by Facebook, which is why one of the reasons why I got into Facebook. So I can see whatever they put on Facebook, because if they write anything that is not acceptable, all their friends will read my response. And so far, they have not done that because I will let them know that you cannot do those things. So I have done my part, but it's not me, it's the family. As you know, in Africa, a village, a community raises a child. I can only show the example and support in some ways, but the people around them have also played a major role in their life, even though everybody looks at me as if I am the one, but I'm not the one. The man above and the community around my nieces and nephews have played a major role in molding them. And now I'm focused on my love, my son and my daughter, and also my wife, who is the opposite of me in the sense that I'm very intense, but she's always very calm. I always believe my intensity is what takes me to the next level. But she calms me down and let me know that, nah, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. I know who you are.
That is beautiful. I'm so happy to hear that, Victor. And you certainly deserve that. Okay, so that is a lot. So I want to thank you for what you shared, your wisdom. And I love that you said about the village and um, what the village that you've had and the village that you've created. I want to congratulate you on your successes and stepping up, and also knowing that the Father is who leads us. That is very beautiful. Before we go, I do want to acknowledge you did say that you were an Olympian. And that's important because for someone to be in the Olympics, you were in twice, right? Was it twice or just once?
Once.
Once in 1988,
So, right.
Seoul, Korea. However, in 1988, before the Olympics, what was your ranking? Because it was Carl. Tell me about it.
um, I believe it must have been in April or May
Mhm.
at Waco, Texas. I mean, all the major athletes that were going to the Olympics were preparing. And I was lucky because just before the Olympic Games, or a year before, I had a surgery on my knee. So I didn't think I would be able to make it to the Olympics. Luckily for me, it's a long story. It was written about how I got there, but I was able to get back on track and ran for Missouri, and we were at Waco, Texas, and I ran against the world junior champion at the time and some of the top US athletes. I believe it was in May or March or April. And I ran the fastest time in the world at the time before, so, and there was some buzz about it, but I was looking forward to the Olympics. Unfortunately, I developed a stress fracture at Drake Relays. And, but still, I kept fighting as I stated, perseverance. I've always fought.
Mhm.
I got myself back on track and was able to make it to the Seoul Olympics. I was thankful to God for that.
And so you all ran, was it the 4x1? Is that what you call it?
Correct.
The 4 by
Correct.
1. And then did you all place?
Uh, and I couldn't run the 100 because I just came off the injury.
Gotcha. So I just wanted to share that because when people watch this, wherever they are, I want them to know perseverance is your middle name, even though it's not.
That's right.
Because for you to become an Olympian and to be literally the fastest man in the world, even if it was just a couple of months, is
Or weeks.
oh, weeks, okay. Speaks to your work ethic and the man you are. And I met you when I was a freshman in college. And
Mhm.
I want to thank you for being a leader and for being so focused and always working to succeed. Whenever anybody hears your name, they smile, oh, Victor. And everybody has a nice Victor story, but it's because you're just a stand up guy. So I want to thank you. I want to congratulate you for everything that you've accomplished and for your beautiful family. I think you have at least one driver, maybe two now. Are you getting ready to have a second driver?
Yep. James, James is going to be driving soon. Yep.
So I just want to thank you for that. It's really an honor and a privilege. And before we go, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Um, being an historian
Mhm.
and being an African American and Nigerian American, I've seen so much. I've traveled, I've read, and I've been involved in so many things. What I will say to young Black men is that you have to believe in yourself. There's no obstacle that you cannot overcome. As long as you have that goal and drive and the belief in yourself, that you can overcome anything that is in front of you. I read a lot and I read the motivational writings a lot. Let me read one of it so that every time someone walks into my office and they see this, they take a picture of it.
Okay.
And then I figured it must be Really good. It states, your mind is a magnet. If you think of blessings, you attract blessings. And if you think of problems, you attract problems. Always cultivate good thoughts and always remain positive and optimistic. We get what we think. So think positive. Life will be automatically positive. So when you wake up in the morning, I know the world have revolved. Instead of us kneeling down to pray or saying good morning to our loved ones, we go straight to our phones to see if they have a message.
Mm.
We understand that. That's the world we live in. But after you check that phone, you need to set a goal for the day and be positive when you get out of bed. Whatever you wake up with that morning is how your day is going to go. Stay focused, believe in yourself, be positive, and everything will fall in line for you. That's my belief.
Thank you, Victor. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.